It's such a pleasure to be here with you, Dick, to celebrate Spirit of 45. I'm Debbie Alterstar. I live in Yountville, and I'm really pleased to hear your story as a veteran of the World War II. So could you introduce yourself and then tell us where you were during the war towards the end, what you were doing?
Surely. Well, I'm Dick Hum. I'm a member of the Veterans Home here. As you know, the Veterans Home here is the largest in the United States, and I've been here with my wife for 14 years now. I'm the donations manager, but I'm also the prime coordinator with AMVETS, who's done an awful lot for the home here. And would you talk about World War II? I volunteered when I was 17 and got into the service, and I ended up World War II. I think I was a first lieutenant, and I was in the AACS, which is the Army Air Force Airways Communication System, which no longer exists. But we inspect radio stations, control towers, crypto stations, and I was one of the members of the team. And we were in Europe at that time when it ended during the trip, and I believe I was in Vienna, Austria at that time. And there, you know, that's Vienna was patrolled by three nations: the United States, Great Britain, and the Russians. And I remember that particular night because we were being introduced around the officers club and met the various nations. And when we came to the Russians, happened to be not only the men but had over the women. I'm not sure where the Russian women at that time were there in the service or maybe the Red Cross, but she was in uniform. And when I was introduced to her, and I would say she would be at least about 280 pounds, and she's about 6 feet. And of course, I'm over about 5'3" and 110 pounds soaking wet. What she did, instead of shaking hands with me, she lifted me off my feet. She was about ready to sit me on the bar, and I pushed away. And it was very embarrassing. I was really, really red. And then after she released me, like they always do in Europe, they kiss you on both cheeks. It did that, but after that, she pinched me on the cheek like a little kid. And of course, I had a heck of a time. My colleagues, my buddies really laughed about that.
So it's a very colorful story. So what I'm wondering, and I pardon my ignorance, but I don't know, did you know that the war was ending when you were there? Was everyone expecting this announcement? What was the mood like in the room? Why was she picking you up because she was so excited that the war was over? Was she think you were a novelty item?
Right. Well, maybe. It could be all of those. Of course, we arrived in Europe, and our team visited Italy, France, Germany, and then we happened to be in Austria just about that time. So I think beforehand, while we were more or less contemplating that, but when it actually happened, I think I was in Vienna, Austria. That's a lot of years to go back. I can't remember precisely. And I think that everybody was just so happy that it's over with. And I guess it was a novelty. I'm sure I was the shortest and the smallest military guy there. One that she could just pick up. It seemed like I was a toy.
Would all of you have been together from all these countries had it not been the end of the war? I mean, did you come together because you had the news and you were celebrating together? You don't quite remember?
Well, I think that, of course, we're all there in one city in Vienna, Austria, and I think the club that was on the United States side, and naturally it generally is the largest one. And that's why so the other nations joined us too. That's probably why. I probably would not have met them perhaps if I went to one of the other clubs. Right.
Thanks for sharing your memory, Dick.